Hello everyone, how you doing? Red here. So, um, in this video, I just want to talk to you about a few different things. Now the first one, is something that was actually made apparent to me very recently, and that is something that I read in a book, and a person was describing how it's easier to believe in aliens than it is to believe in gods, or like spirits or anything. And that kind of struck me kind of weird, because it's always been pretty easy for me to understand that aspect of the world. But I'm going to shed a little bit of light on at least what I believe to be true regarding that. Um, a friend of mine was once talking about his beliefs, and I was talking about mine. And he said that he thinks that there are aliens that we can't even see, or that there are like UFOs and stuff. I've never been really one for the whole UFO thing, although I do believe that there are spirits who take the form of white light and that travel around the world. Um, But, it's always just been kind of weird for me to think about, like a bunch of little spacemen. Um, anyway, so I've heard of UFO abduction. It always sounded to me like something called Fey abduction, which is when a fairy or a spiritual being that's innately tied to nature, doing something that it's not supposed to be doing. Um, And yeah, I honestly still think that that's exactly what it is. Now, as far as people seeing physical beings that um, look like aliens, what I think that is personally, and if this is just my beliefs, I think that that is a spiritual being wrapping itself in human flesh, or not human flesh, wrapping itself in a flesh body so that they can interact with the world directly. Um, and feel free to dispute with me on that. I have no problem with doing so. In I think that when you, as I've described this before, when you die, your soul comes back, or if you're a ghost, um, you'll take on a spiritual form. It's not necessarily something physical, it's something that's energetic. And I think that sometimes if a spirit really needs to interact with the world directly, they will take on a physical form. But I also think that that physical form might not necessarily look human. It might look otherwise. Um, in fact, it may even look organic, or it may look like a bunch of leaves sticking together. Like, it may look really strange. And that physical body might be corrupt. It might be strange looking. It might only serve the purposes that it needs to serve. Um, and in that case, I don't know. Maybe there are such things as aliens, but I don't think that they are other. Well, there would be other life forms. I don't think that they are exactly what we think they are. I don't know. Again, that's just me. If you think otherwise, or if you want to defeat me on that, I'd love to have a conversation with you, because I love debating things. Um, right. So, aside from that, I want to talk to you guys about something that I forgot to mention in the magic video. Um, so, a lot of magic involves writing things or saying things, and I have a interesting thought about that. So when you write something, just like anything, you're turning your thoughts, like your, personal, conscious or subconscious thoughts, into a written piece or a dialogue or something. And in the case of writing something, you're kind of you're literally taking something and imprinting it. Um, there's this great theological person. I always mess up his name. It's oh god, this is gonna kill me. I forget his name. He worked a lot in India. He made this wrote this book called The World's Religions. He's really famous. You guys probably know his name. I'm just being an ignorant human. But anyway, he said in his book that art is spiritual technology, and to a certain extent, I totally agree with him. You are taking your personal spiritual understanding, your personal spiritual consciousness and thought, and making something directly out of it. Um, so when I write all this stuff, although you probably can't read it, um, let's try a different example. Alright, so I write that symbol, and instantly you have thoughts running through your head. I've just not necessarily transmitted my thoughts, but I've transmitted an image in my mind onto a piece of paper, and then by showing it to you, I have altered your thought process. It's kind of like when you say, don't think of a purple elephant, first thing you think of is a purple elephant. And the only way we can do that is through speech and through writing. And I mean, you can do it through action as well, which, again, these are all things that have to take place in order for magic to work. Um, Usually there's an action or a verbal dialogue or a written thing involved, and in often cases it's all three. But in doing these things, in doing these art pieces, it is taking a spiritual concept, sending it through the various levels of human understanding, and converting it directly into something that is used to contact a spirit or to contact energies or even to bring energies out of yourself. In the healing, or the girl I know who heals, she's always been blessed with healing. She just uses divine power to aid her. Um, she often uses symbolism, or she'll like ask literally for Raphael to give her power, um, and it's these kind of things that are how magic works. We take something that is just, it seems so minuscule, like, and it seems almost like hokey, like, okay, so I say some magic words and something's going to happen, and that's not really how it works. It's not just saying something that makes it happen. It's saying something with your soul, or saying something with power. In ancient Egypt, they said that names had power. So just inscribing the name of someone or saying the name of someone gave you power over them, which I don't really totally believe in that, but I think there's some bit of truth there. Writing something, even like writing these, lets me remember something that I could never have remembered, at least usually never have remembered otherwise. And this is different, of course, than, like psychic, like the way the psychics can like push people or things like that. This is much more direct, and it's much more, I almost want to say powerful, but wouldn't really go that far. It's something that I think a lot of people don't understand, but it's, again, something that we've been given. Um, as humans, like I can't make boulders just turn to dust. I can't stop the sun from setting. I can't, you know, turn water into wine. I have these things that I'm capable of doing, but if I really wanted to change something, all it takes is a word. In fact, if I wanted to change the way that you think, all it takes is a few words strung together. You know, what I'm doing right now is changing your thought. I'm taking raw material, turning it into a conscience or to a conscious understanding. And you, through the comments that you send me, change my thought. It's this ever really magical thing, and that's why my father always used to say this, bless his heart. Um, he says that God spoke the world into existence, and that's why everything is vibration. And like, it sounds a little bit goofy, but that really, it's kind of cool how speech and how the way we transmit our thought kind of changes everything. And that's why I think that it's not really the language or the script or whatever that matters. I think it's what you put into it that matters. It's really your belief in what you say and what you write that makes it so powerful. And yeah, I think it's just really cool. So, alright guys, I love you all. Send me some comments, do whatever you gotta do. I'd love to hear them. So, thanks a lot again, and for spending time watching this, and happy hunting, alright?